Men don't have to be perfect, but I absolutely won't tolerate a man as my partner that, number one, does not communicate and stonewalls instead. Silent treatment is not okay. I'm not about to be anxious or nervous around you like I'm walking on eggshells. Conflicts will arise, but we should talk through them, not argue or go silent or play blame game. Number two, I won't tolerate a man that is insecure and controlling. If you have trust issues, that's not my problem, and my job isn't to soothe or fix that. I won't be told how to dress, where I can and cannot go, nor will I be constantly questioned. Men with trust issues typically cheat and can be physically abusive because they don't know how to self-regulate their emotions. So they take their aggression and fears out on you. I'm not going through that shit again. Number three, I won't tolerate a man that gaslights me. I need you to be acquainted with self-accountability and self-awareness. Disagreements can't be solved if you're only seeing how I'm the problem or you flip everything back on me when I bring up a concern. Number four, I won't tolerate a man that is not romantic or loving. I don't do that nonchalant, super laid back attitude when it comes to loving me. I like to be treated with love, care, and concern. I like to be thought of and treated like I'm special to you. Number five, I won't tolerate a man that is emotionally unavailable. This goes with the previous one, but to add, I need him to be emotionally intelligent and emotionally stable. No emotional manipulation or mental abuse. When I was trying to be picked, I was easily manipulated because I was all about keeping them by any means necessary, keeping them happy and not losing them. Now I'm more concerned about not losing myself. Number six, I won't tolerate a man that believes in gender roles. I like a more equal partnership. None of that misogynistic bullshit. It's more about a team effort and working together, not shaming me into my place. We can both clean, cook, or order out if neither feels like cooking, etc. I don't believe in wifely duties. And I won't be with a man that believes that I should be doing wifely duties. Number seven, last but not least, I won't tolerate a man that has a short temper. You're not about to be punching walls or talking to me crazy. Learn to regulate your damn emotions. All right, so a little backstory on this list. This was a list I had for myself dating in my 30s. And I learned all of this by trial and error in my 20s. My 20s was filled with nothing but toxic relationships with men that did opposite of what I've just named. They were the worst. And my 20s was filled with nothing but toxic relationships. And so moving into my 30s and my late 30s, I decided that, I want a man that is going to be totally different than that. And these are the things that are most important to me. These things used to not be important to me. Can you believe it? These things I would have never thought of having on my list. I thought a woman was supposed to do her wifely duties and cook and clean and go to work and come home and take care of her man. And he just comes home and does nothing. I really used to think that. I really used to strive to be that woman that was doing it all for my man. And as I got older, I just realized that doesn't make sense. If I am working as well 40 hours a week, and even if I wasn't working, let's say if I was a stay-at-home girlfriend or whatever, if I was staying home, cleaning up a house and taking care of a home, and if we have kids, taking care of kids, that is a lot of work too. I still need you to come home and give a damn about your household and your wife. What was most important to me is always feeling considered. What I mean by that is it doesn't matter whose job it is, quote unquote. What matters is that, okay, who has the most energy, who is able to do it? I see my wife is tired out. I'm going to do this. He's not going to look at doing laundry or folding clothes or cooking dinner as that's something that I should do. And that he should just, wait around till I feel better and then do it. He's going to get it done because he is considering me. And I am so glad that I waited later in life to marry. If you're watching this and you're in your late 30s or even in your 30s period, ladies, this is the best time for you to really curate your list of standards and things you want in a marriage and relationship, and really focus in on the things that's going to make you feel happy in that connection and in that relationship. Don't think about what society and the patriarchy has pushed on us to do. Focus on what you really want. You may think it's impossible to have a man that actually helps with household duties and cooks and cleans as well. It is not. If you want that, put that on your list and don't settle for a man that doesn't do those things. And it's like once I got in my 30s, it's like everything started to become more clear to me. If I would have gotten married in my 20s to my exes like I wanted, I would either still be married and miserable and confused on how I was going to get out, or I would be divorced. And there's nothing wrong with making a mistake and getting married in your 20s before you fully develop your standards list, because they've pushed that narrative on women as well, that you need to get married. Marriage is like this thing you have to strive for. When really, I feel like your 20s should be you striving for you creating a life for yourself that you love and enjoy. And when you do that, it helps you to tailor your standards list that much better, because you're then able to see what really matters, and the right man for you should be able to fit into the life that you've cultivated for yourself. So that means the woman that you've built in your 20s, you're going to be careful about bringing any man on board, because you want him to be able to fit with you. You want him to be able to fit into your life and not come in wreaking havoc on your life. You're going to be more careful about your choice. I know I was. And so, yeah, I married for the first time at 36. Yeah, 36. I married for the first time. And I don't regret it at all. I felt like I was able to really, really, like, pinpoint the things that were most important to me. By that time, I've gotten rid of all these societal rules that they've placed on women. And I started being a little more radical with my thinking about how I wanted my marriage to be. And I would say that I have a less than traditional type of marriage, because I'm with a man that actually considers me. I'm with a man that actually cares about me. He's not ruled by the patriarchy, I feel like. He's not misogynistic at all. He's more so in tune with me, and he centers my emotional well-being. And in my 20s, I would have never thought that a man like that could exist. Ladies, you must understand that there are some men that are still being ruled by the patriarchy, and they're trying to keep up the patriarchy societal norms. And they feel like centering a woman's emotional needs is them being weak, is them not being a man. Why do you think some men come down so hard on Sierra's husband, Russell Wilson? Because of how he loves his wife, how he caters to his wife, how he centers his wife well-being and his family. He is a family man, a good man with integrity. And a lot of men tend to think that that's weak. And it's nothing but the patriarchal society that they're trying to keep up, that norm that in order to be a man, you have to be dominant. You have to be controlling. You don't center a woman's emotions. You shouldn't be considering a woman like that. If you do that, you being weak, or you're a simp. Stay far away from men that think like that. I never would have thought that I would be with a man that does his own laundry, doesn't expect me to do it, will cook sometimes if need be, cleans the house. A man that actually considers me and doesn't just look at me as a woman that's here to serve him. That was something that was important for me to have in my relationship. And it's just so crazy to me how I didn't even think about that back then. I was just thinking about a man choosing me and being all I needed to be for that man. None of my exes would ever be the type of man that my husband is, ever. They would have looked at that as being weak. But to me, men that are still keeping up the patriarchal norms and what's been placed upon them, to me, men like that are the weak ones. Not the men that have decided that the patriarchy has only weakened them and made them emotionally unavailable. Men that don't believe in the misogynistic ways and believe in actually caring about a woman and centering a woman's emotional needs. Those men, to me, are the strong ones, not the weak ones. The weak ones are the ones that feel like they have to pump their chest and be dominant and be controlling in order to be seen as a man. No. Men like that, I feel like, really do want love and want to be loved. But in another sense, they also feel like it's weak to do so as well. So they will expect you to do everything for them and to love them. But to love you is them being weak. And to me, that is sad. To me, that is being weak. Knowing that you really want love, but you can't even give it and can hardly receive it. That's sad. And it was also important to me to have a man that was romantic, a man that was thoughtful, a man that was caring, a man that was able to communicate, a man that wasn't going to gaslight me, a man that was going to be able to have the difficult conversations. All of that became so important to me as I grew. And I never would have thought that any of those things were important. I didn't even see these things in my parents growing up. My parents were married, but I've never seen any of these things demonstrated. Like the man I have now is nothing like my dad, which is a great thing. The marriage I have with my husband now is nothing like my parents' marriage. It's better. And so that's why I'm like, I never would have imagined. But my 20s and making all those mistakes in my 20s, it gave me a chance to grow. It gave me a chance to tailor my standards list and to recognize what was right and what was wrong and what was most important for me to have. So I'm telling you, ladies, if you're watching this and you're in your 30s and you're feeling like you're running out of time, I need you to take this time and realize that this is the perfect time for you to really, really get your list tailored about what it is you want and believe that you can have all that in a marriage. Don't believe that you need to have a traditional marriage like you've seen maybe your great grandma and grandpa have, where the grandma was doing all the labor and all the work while the man just reaped the benefits of it. As I got older, I understood just how important all these things on this list was for me. So, yeah, I had a late marriage, but I'm having one of the best marriages, one of the best relationships I've ever had. So, make your list. Understand you got time. You're not running out of time. Even if you're nearing 40, it is okay. This is the best time for you because you are more mature. You understand what's most important. And another thing is you're not settling. So since you're not settling for just a man that comes along that meets maybe half of your standards or is halfway right, you're not just settling. If you were to settle, you probably would be married by now, but you refuse to settle. And understand that a late marriage is better than a wrong marriage. You do not want to be in a marriage where you're unhappy and you feel alone and you feel like a slave and you feel like that you're doing all the labor. You feel like you can't communicate and you're unhappy. Nothing's changing. You don't want to be in something like that. So take your time. I'm so glad I took my time. I have no regrets that my husband and I waited to get married and that we didn't get married till our late 30s. I'm perfectly fine with that. Telling you. So that's all I got for this bonus episode that I wanted to talk about because it really fit with what I talked about on the podcast episode. If you haven't, go check that out. That one was more so talking about how to tell if he's emotionally mature and emotionally safe. So check that one out as well if you haven't. That's on a video on my YouTube channel or the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts that you should be able to find it. So that's all I got. Be sure to turn in for Healing Sundays as well. Peace out.